Yeah, just thinking about that identity, right? We're wrapped up in past identity, the past versions, the past patterns, and how personally we take that.
Yeah, and what's changing too for me is about what I choose to identify with. So do I want to identify with those buttons that get pressed, or do I want to identify with the things Spirit is telling me? Identify with the music or the drama. The music's a lot easier on me.
Yeah, that's a tension on what charges us, attention on what triggers us, attention to what we respond and to what we react to. Around it as our circumstances. It's like we put the attention on the circumstances and then react and respond to the circumstances.
Yeah. Well, and which charges do you want to put your attention on? I'm finding that I get so much out of the charges that are tied to the messages than the ones that are tied to the triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're beneficial. They're always beneficial.
The default is that we would want expansive, we'd want to feel positive charges. We want to, but responding and reacting to circumstances, has us.
Yeah. Well, that's really about habit pattern.
Mm-hmm. All about habit pattern. And that is not attention.
Well, they're attention habits.
Yep.
Like I've been in the habit of putting my attention on the triggers or what bothers me or what buttons get pushed.
Yep.
But I'm learning a new habit of paying attention to the other things, the music. The charges that get my mojo going. The charges that jumpstart my heart.
Yeah, that's the key part.
Yeah.
Here's the two motivations: is to get away from the negative or to continue to jumpstart them.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah. I'll allow that charge to give you an expanding energy.
boost the momentum
Yeah,
flow.
yeah. That's sustainability.
That's sustainability.
Because you want to fully utilize that charge because it's beneficial and it's motivational and it's intentional. It's benevolent. It's got love in it. And there's no need to react to it. And for me, there's no need to repress it. But I can eat it. I can chew on it. I can receive it. Can be nourished by it. So work that one. Give me $9. We gotta love the moon.
Just see it in the morning.
How subtle that attention is from the
Yeah.
surface. Meaning we can tell ourselves that we experience things one way, but when we're not paying attention, how it can be the other way, the other side.
Yeah, there's energy charges of whatever kind that are interacting with us 24/7.
All the time. We're aware of just so few of it.
Well, yeah, because most of them we react to or we repress.
Yeah.
Try to either get away from them or deny them. Instead of allowing them to do their work on us, with us.
Yeah. So conditioned to ensure a positive outcome from the circumstances.
So in effect, we're allowing all that stuff to distract us.
You know,
in one way or another.
yep.
Instead of stopping, paying attention, taking a look at it.
Yep. Mm. Looking for the message and
Yeah, yeah. Like was mentioned a few weeks ago, stop, look, listen.
yeah. Someone has always told us what's best, what's better.
Yeah,
Someone else has always told us that.
but were these people paying attention or not?
Most not.
Yeah, yeah,
What I've come to understand. No blame, no judge. They're just reacting, responding to the circumstances as well.
yeah, exactly. And it's been going on for thousands of years, generation after generation.
You-
So why is our attention today being focused on this?
I don't know.
Yeah, for me, that's a calling to interrupt that pattern. And instead create a new one around attention.
How does one know they're paying attention? How does Craig know he's paying attention?
I'm pretty sure that I learned that original attention model because it was being modeled for me. I mean, that's what I saw. Everybody around me was doing that.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
informing you.
Yeah.
From I mean, we're talking adolescent, we're talking child,
yeah,
we're talking
yeah.
from the very beginning. Yep. From the beginning of your life.
Yeah, and even from before you were born.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was picking up that stuff inside my mother.
Mm-hmm. Had to have been, yeah.
Sure.
Responding to things that were happening out there. That was charging. She was being charged, which ultimately charged you.
Yep. Definitely would have had an effect. Any after effects as well. But remember, all of that is on an energetic level. It's all on a energy relational interchange thing that's going on.
Chemical releases that changes the moods.
Exactly, that too. Energy and motion.
You know, that then thoughts, yeah, and what we see and perceive become connected to that.
Exactly. And those associations are made on a personal basis, subjectively.
Yeah, uniquely.
Yes.
Fundamentally the same for all of us, like it all happened that way, but uniquely to everyone's situation. And the fact is, whatever that uniqueness was becomes a default pattern, becomes the way we see the world.
Yeah.
And even from the same family can be significantly different.
Well, and here's the miracle side of all this for me, is that even our DNA itself, even the DNA, that chemical strand, can actually sense the energy. And it's in every single cell of our body. So we have physical sensors that are built into us that sense the energy.
And energy changes the DNA, changes the cells.
Yeah.
With either our perceptions, our thoughts, or our charges, positive and negative, affect every cell, affect our DNA. That's the importance of the attention of your charge. What are you feeding it? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Because even that single cell has attention. Has its own attention.
Right. And they've just proven that they can, I don't know what it was, but they basically send a charge, a shock, they send the energy, it's got to be of certain frequencies, yeah, into the cells, and it will, the tension they put it on was insulin.
Yeah.
So they were providing the frequencies to the cells that they would begin to generate frequency, they would generate insulin again. Energetic messaging.
Yeah.
Energetic messages. Energetic
On the physical plane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Intergetic messaging. It's funny. It's all right to send it into space for other life forms, but crazy to do it to yourself. Energetic diet.
Yeah. Of sustainable energy. That perpetuates itself. Sounds like love to me.
Mhm.
You start swimming in it and eventually you become it.
Yeah. It's playing in it, right?
Yeah.
Another word we'd say is practicing in it. Sustainable energy.
Yeah. Yeah, and either we can play with it or ignore it.
Thinking about it, there, that's the renewable story, right? The sustainable energy,
Right.
where our bodies are 140% of that, meaning we generate in excess of 40% heat, right, that we give off,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than what we need. And the best, and don't quote me on it, I don't understand my technical yet, but the best solar panel is 30%.
30% efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And our bodies are way more efficient than that.
140%.
Yeah, because we're always synthesizing energy. And that's what our bodies do. That's what our cells do.
That is just amazing. You think of it like that. Even the best battery, right, isn't even 30%.
Yeah. So why do we ignore that? Like we keep looking for methods of renewable energy, right? So we'll burn gas and we'll we'll do all these crazy things, and our body's doing that already.
Yeah.
That's why there's a revolution coming around all that stuff, and it's around energy. It's around energy and use of it.
Yeah.
Finding ways to tap into the energy that's happening all around us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Morning.
Actually, transforming it at will, as a magician would. We're already doing that, but it's all unconscious, right?
Yeah, and then putting it in the stories that the children will be watching.
Yeah. So yeah, when we make it conscious, we really twist it around, don't we? The truth of that. We twist it into ways that we think are serving us, and they're actually not. They're keeping us from the truth of what we are.
Yeah. With no immediate difference.
Yeah.
First of all, we know no other difference, right? Because it's just been conditioned that way from the beginning. It's all we know. Until we start putting attention on it. And that requires hearing something different, seeing other things, changing it, questioning it, looking at it differently. which unexpectedly changes everything. And we're always have been trying to manipulate the circumstances to be positive. That's not a guarantee in any structure.
No, it's not sustainable in any structure.
Good point. What is sustainable in any structure?
I know love is.
Which is an expanding positive charge.
Yeah,
Sustainable in any circumstance. Available, that's a better one, available in every circumstance.
yeah. Always available, always expanding.
Just got to pay attention to it. How often would you, what percentage would you say you're paying attention nowadays?
Well, it's a lot more than I used to. So I don't even
Yes.
dare to guess, because I know there's a lot more attention to be paid.
Yes. My point is it sure feels like it's a small percentage still.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing is, attention is sustainable.
Yes, it is. It's a playful practice, right? It becomes a new pattern, a new habit. It creates
So
momentum.
yeah. So attention is the link to love, basically. The link to love energy. It's our sustainable access point. Because even if you're brain dead, you can still pay attention.
We are putting attention on the things that happen in nanoseconds. Just that split second between something is out there in the environment, circumstances triggering it, and that moment that it just automatically happens. That vacuum of how it's been. Taking the same path again and again and again. Ending up at the same spot again and again and again.
Yeah, and being okay with that.
It's what they said to do.
Yeah. That's the thing. We don't know different.
That's right. Which doesn't automatically make it right.
And in all fairness to our environment and the people around us, how are you supposed to know any better?
Right.
I mean, everybody's going with the best they know.
Exactly.
Whatever that happens to be.
Mm-hmm. That is coming from love. That is the momentum of love. Anger, frustration isn't. Now, there's love where that anger and frustration is coming from. That's just a pattern. There's something about love that's not being met behind it. Some passion not being fulfilled, not being expressed. That's the frustration.
So the thing is, then we don't know how to pay attention.
That's what I say. And it's like, oh, so how, if we don't know how, and we're so right in our patterns, there's no real tangible incentive to change it. And yet we've got this mission too. We've got this passion too.
Yeah.
Bring attention into existence to a world that doesn't want it, doesn't think they need it. If that isn't a challenge, I don't know what is. If that doesn't bring a set of its own charges, I don't know what does.
But it need not be shared in a way that creates charges.
No,
Because it's our true nature.
that's right.
To be attentive,
Which is
whether we realize we are or not, right? Built in.
morning. Still doesn't make it any easier.
No, because there's no awareness around it.
And as soon as it's said something against what someone thinks or feels or believes to be right, which everything we're saying goes against that.
Yeah, but attention itself is neutral. What it attends to probably isn't, but attention itself is neutral. It's not
Tension
discriminatory.
It happens in the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens between the structures is where the attention shows up.
Exactly.
And then you've got to grab it by saying, oh, wow, that's completely different than what I thought. Oh, it charges me different, but look, it doesn't harm me. I'm not exposed yet, right?
Yeah. But isn't that what we've said over and over in this group?
Yeah.
Is that it's the in-betweens, it's the in-between parts that carry the power and the messaging and the meaning and the information and all that stuff. And the energy. What appears to be empty is full.
I think I asked the question earlier, well, what do we pay attention to? Everything that is in the moment of now.
We
And
pay
that
attention to
will be
the,
something.
yeah. Yeah, we pay attention to our interpretation of the energy rather than the energy itself. Energy is just energy. It just takes different forms.
We give it different forms, don't we?
Can give it different forms too. But it also has an intelligence. The energy itself has an intelligence.
Mhm.
And that's a huge part that we've missed for a few thousand years.
Then wouldn't it say that energy, that constant energy that's in the background is always expanding then? Which means it would always be, from our point of view, a positive charge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it's only our binary mind that delineates it or differentiates it as positive or negative. There's actually neither one. It's just energy and lots of it. A charge is just a concentration of it. If it's free flowing, you don't really sense it
That's right.
because it's in motion. But once it stops or kind of collects into a lump, then you feel it.
Yep. And you think about science. Let's say science is trying to find the source of that, trying to
Yeah.
see that, trying to observe that by pulling every individual piece out and examining it on its own. You end up with chaos.
Yeah, because it doesn't really make sense from there. and it may never make sense from there.
Not without seeing the whole flow, right?
Yep.
There's a reason it works one way. And if you don't understand that one way, every time you pull it apart, you're going to end up down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Because energy changes when you observe it. It becomes something different. It changes form. So you can't, it's not observable, which basically says that science is never going to get the answer for this because science is all about observing. So you can't work with it unobserved. Well, you can work with it up. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying science can't work with it unless it's observing it. But then I can only work with the observed form of it.
Well, I think like from our perspective, our point of view is that we can work with the difference. It's the only way that we can see it. In all reality, that's what we do anyway, is we're observing the differences. Like, oh, there's love, right? If love is what we say is the constant, right? The ever expanding, let's just use it because we can relate it to it. Then it's like, oh, we can observe what's different from that. We can pay attention.
Yeah. And everything changed for me when I came to realize that rocks are intelligent.
There's no charge in that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good thing you got rocks in your head then.
Yeah. And I'm surmising that intelligence in everything is what we call capital C consciousness. And consciousness doesn't matter. It's not affected by the forms of the energy. It actually affects the forms of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings you right back to awareness and then attention.
Mm-hmm. Now you said them in a different order today.
Enlighten me.
Yesterday I was working with awareness. You said, oh, before awareness, there has to be attention.
Yeah, and today I was starting at consciousness, working backwards. Consciousness, awareness, attention.
Attention backwards. Okay. I heard the flow going forward.
Yeah. It's like what I borrowed from Napoleon Hill a few weeks ago. Whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So one thing that's come to me is a way of understanding these paradoxical concepts is to actually reverse engineer them.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that is such a huge way to become attentive, right? Aware of. That's what I do too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to me, that's what creativity is
Yes, it
dream something up and then work backwards
Mm.
until you get to a place where you can take a first step.
It's like dream it, conceive it, be it, achieve it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, conceiving brings believing. Well, look at how we start. We're conceived.
Mhm.
Two chunks of DNA talk to each other and say, all right, let's get it on. Let's make a baby.
Mhm.
And it's actually the sperm and the egg that do that. Not really the parents.
Isn't that a concept? Wouldn't that go against the common knowledge?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the intelligence inside the sperm and the egg that actually form the intention. Allowing the innate intelligence to create itself.
Mhm.
Or the genius, if you want to call it that. Same thing. Same idea.
I was thinking about there was as man, we put ourselves at the top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And then it's like then some people will put a god or a supreme or something bigger than
Yeah.
that, which is what
Yeah.
we're speaking about. I think is what that innate, is a version of that. I don't think it's the same thing because it all depends on the version that people, like, there's so many different ways that people grant it to the name God,
Yes.
to the label God.
As God's always called Almighty, but he's hardly ever called vulnerable.
Hmm.
And even calling God a he. It's weird
Mhm.
when you think about it.
Just labels and filters and in
Yep.
the environment, right? The pressures that were around it that had to have it shaped.
Yep.
Had to
The
shape
problem
it.
with language.
Mhm.
Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
Good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
We've been following a white rabbit called Attention.
Rabbits, they are my favorite. I really do love them.
We're pulling the white rabbit out of the hat, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Or Alice in follow mode.
Alice in Wonderland. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Gosh, what a story for kids that was, eh?
Yeah. What a story for adults that was.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Jesse earlier in this call that that Maureen took me to the movie Barbie yesterday.
Oh,
And I gave him a quick synopsis. It turns out that the movie is the I Ching that's acted and described or interpreted by dolls.
yeah. I mean, it's made a fortune, this movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a real exploration into masculine and feminine energies gone awry, and about bringing them back into balance and harmony. But I'm sure very few people realize that. But I'm really glad that message is getting out.
was there a preconceived charge in that, Allison?
In what? Yes, sorry.
Before hearing that explanation from Craig around the Barbie movie, just example, not on the spot or not pressure. It's just I know I could make up the. I don't know if I heard it in your voice or not, as we're
Yeah,
working attention.
Yeah, no, you're right. You did hear. I just, it's just the normal thing about.
What Barbie used to be.
I don't know that it's, yeah, I don't know that it's even that. It's just the amount of money that then goes again, to a toy company that doesn't bother to look at the sustainability of the materials that they use for their toys. I mean, I've heard very good reports about the movie. It's certainly done, it's certainly provided a lot of different things for people that seem to be worthwhile. Yeah, so that's just what my charge was about. It's just about that. That I have I've got something. I got something this morning. As I was watching a movie last night, and it was filmed in Rome. Actually, it's a series. It's not a movie. And there's a scene where the protagonist walks into her new home while she's there. She's there for a course. And it is so beautiful. It is so absolutely beautiful. And I was thinking about that experience of when you walk into a building and the experience of the beauty of the architecture and then the interior decorating. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about how we decorate our own interior. And I mean, it's such an obvious kind of a thing, but it really hit me, the simplicity of it, and the power of it. I think the power of it was more, what hit me more. And so movies in general are very, they really are amazing mediums for us, you know, because they engage so many of our senses, and they have an incredible opportunity to bring about awareness, and they certainly capture one's attention, right? The difference that it makes when you walk around with a beautiful mind, a mind that's attuned to beauty and then connected to the heart. The beauty of the heart is so much more powerful even than the optics. Way, way, way more powerful. And then how that reorganizes our structure, our paradigm, and what we pay attention to as a default. And somehow that all, for me, feels relatable to the white rabbit that you pull out of the hat. The magic of it all.
I'm just going to throw it out there because I have no other way to throw it out there. What if we used that movie to bring out the important attention points? Such as, let me just work it here with you guys. I'm not saying to do, I'm not committing in anything. It's just a what if.
Mm.
You know? What I listened to, Allison, is that a large organization that has individuals underneath that are writing a movie, Craig, that are bringing forth very good lessons in life that the organization is not following. The organization themselves, the hires, the greed aspect of it is not doing it. Yet the people below it that are creating it, that are bringing it together, who aren't sharing in that aspect of it, are bringing forth a message that people want to hear.
Mm.
It is in that gap, where we rise up and show the differences. We show the other sides of it. We are able to bring attention to what already has momentum, just in a new light, in a different way, in a way that normally people wouldn't do it because, oh, that's just a distraction. That just takes me out of life rather than puts me in life.
Mm.
And just because it's there, people won't pick up on it. And there's a lot that's there that we don't pick up on it unless we really have some sort of intention to jump into the movie with, which majority of the people that have spent that money, that have given it to that company, right, would want some sort of return for it in that direction. So wherever that came from, there you go.
It's a good thought, JC. I like it.
Yeah.
Looking at the
Yeah.
other side of things, it always brings us so much more than what we get just from looking at the inside of something, right?
Mm.
And both are valuable.
Yes.
So I bet you the producers of that movie didn't know that it was a treatise on the I Ching. I highly doubt that that was intentional.
Yeah, but you don't know. You never know, Craig.
But it could have been. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's like, you know,
it absolutely could have been.
I mean, I've been working with media over 50 years and, you know, never, the things that land totally surprise you.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the point. It's like, I think they're even surprised that it hit so well. And I don't think the producers did that. I think the writers did.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it as like, you, just use the concept, don't use the specifics, right? It's the labels. It's like you think about, there's writing that people had to write that would just appease the kings, but they had to circle a message in it, right? A hidden
Yeah.
message in the documents because of those that were in power.
Yep.
Right.
It's been a
Case in point, the King
Yeah.
James Bible.
Yep.
You know, it had to be authorized or it wouldn't have been done. But the thing is, when you're creating, when you're working on an endeavor like that, you never know what the outcome is actually going to be. That's what creativity is. It's like,
Exactly. And so, and we pay attention to what works and what doesn't work.
well, what we think works and what we think doesn't work, but we don't know, because, you know, very seldom do we look at the after effects.
I think we always look at the after effects.
Yeah, but only certain ones. You know, you look at how many tickets you sold instead of how many hearts you changed. You know what I mean?
No, it's just like the scientists that we were talking about, right? Just, you know, it's same type of thing. It's like, you know, there's very little attention into what we look for. Very little
Yeah.
attention. We just go with the flow of what the flavor is, what everyone's talking about is what everyone else will do. Except for the creators. The creators are the ones that are breaking it open, right?
Exactly.
And if I'm paying attention to what the market is saying, the individual people are starting to know, oh, there's some real power in their choice. Take the Bud Light example. How else would a revolution begin? Take foot, sustain. Craig, you asked why are we talking about this today, Allison? Why did that charge? Oh, wow, what could those mean? I don't know.
You don't know until you ask.
And even
Which is
then,
a
you might not
version-
know right away.
Which is a version of attention, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a very good example of it.
That's why questions are so cool,
Mhm.
because they draw attention.
The attention's got to come first to be able to know which question to ask.
That's what we were talking about yesterday, Allison, is that attention comes before awareness.
Yes. That's the perception of the nervous system, which is directly linked to what you've got in your unconscious, which is why updating the unconscious is so valuable. And just talking about that as hidden messages, it's again, for me, it speaks to the importance of the arts, which amounts to the importance of self-expression. It speaks for the collective.
I know that's why I've been making a living at it for over 40 years.
and dictators, more than likely that is the first thing that they take out.
I know.
Stop funding.
Oh yeah.
or
know.
or exploit.
And not
Mm.
even dictators. Not even dictators. Look, you look at the governments in the West, which ones support the arts? Very few.
It's a good sign to see which direction they fundamentally are leaning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when I came here, Jess, that's 20 years ago now. If I heard a repeat documentary on CBC, it would have been like once a month. Now, with all the funding cuts that have happened to CBC radio, that's what I meant to say. I can hear a repeat every day. So in 20 years, from once a month to every day. And that's all because of the cuts to the funding. And it's so short-sighted, so short-sighted, because they could have used it more and more, to their advantage. I want to be really cynical about it.
Mhm.
At least in Canada, they have that.
Yeah, don't you guys have something called NPR?
Yeah,
National Public Radio?
there's NPR, but it's not the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like I used to listen to the radio all the time. It was my best friend when I came here because I was home. And, new, didn't have many people to connect with. And that's how I got to know a little bit about Canadian history and economics and then global stuff, an enormous amount. And most immigrants that you talk to when they, came in those first 10 years will say that they used the radio to connect and find out and understand about their new home.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the CBC, I would not have had television in the 60s. That was the only channel we got. And that's actually still true in the north of Canada. That's the only public, that's the only television they had for years.
Yeah.
Was CBC. So it was government funded because everything in Canada is so spread out. Telephones were that way too.
Yeah.
And even things like power companies. It was like they were cooperatives is basically how they were set up so that we can get signal to as many people as possible. which is why collaboration is so central to my mantra.
Mm. I woke up this morning with, what was it? It was loving, creative collaboration. That's what it was.
Yeah, there's so much amazing power in combining genius. That could not be realized any other way.
Yeah, we've all spoken about for attention, right? That leads into awareness is to look at both sides of it, to understand both sides. To one, first see our side. And just as I'm speaking that, it comes in with division as well as a divide and into a unity.
Yeah, and actually attempt to see all sides.
You know, that's what you said earlier is to everyone is doing their best. And we can see it from that side, from that perspective, which is really just a neutral. Who do we like? Who would try to go out there and ruin their life?
Mm.
Yeah, intentionally.
Right? And yes, there is outcomes that happen as a result of that, as we could call it from our point of view, would say people are ruining their lives, but that is from our judgment.
Yeah, for me in the last 3 years, I allowed something quite horrendous to play itself out. And it was horrendous to me. It might not have been horrendous to anybody else, but it was the allowing it to play out that turned out to be so powerful.
What came to me with what you were saying, Jess, was the power of intention and choice. And when I come like if I circle back and I think about what is it that I want to be a part of, it would be facilitating the awareness of well, first of all, facilitating awareness. And then of the power of choice. And that choice is possible. That's such a big one.
It's even an option.
Exactly. And it's difficult, man. It's really that facilitation. Yeah. I struggle with that still a lot. I can do it with people that have asked for it. The people that haven't asked for it, it's that they're asking for some kind of relief. I'm thinking again. Our meditation teacher used to say, if you want to know whether God loves you or not, you know by how many problems he sends you. The more problems you get, the more you are loved. Didn't quite want to hear that one.
No, we sure think it should be the other way, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what we're taught.
Mm-hmm. Mm. As motivation.
Which is half true, right?
Mm-hmm. It's one side of it, AJ.
That's yeah.
Then there's another side.
Mm. Yep. And both of them have been manipulated. Both sides.
Which is why we come back again to why it's so important to facilitate people being able to do their own exploration and their own experience, or through their own experience. And why their words are so important, because that's one way. It's a pretty powerful way. It's one avenue. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. It was great to spend this time. Have a great
Yeah.
day.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Have a
Allison.
great day. Thanks for being
Big
here.
love.
Mhm.
Bye. Okay, do you want to continue or are you complete?
There's still more in me to work with, I'm sure. How about you?
I got to run to the store, so I got more times.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Checking to see how much juice I got in the phone. So it looks like I'm good. So much intangible learning. So, that always fascinates me too.
I mean, in our learning, right, we look for what is familiar, what is the same, what is it that we already know, and attract towards that. Where
Well,
the
yeah,
real learning is in the opposite,
right, right.
in the other side of it, and seeing another point of view, the other side. That's where the real learning exists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Instead of regurgitating the same old crap.
Yep. Attracting to the same old thing,
Yeah,
hearing
yeah,
the same thing over and over again.
yeah. Which comes to attention, right? The agenda of my attention to hear something that to hear something that backs up what I believe already? Or is it geared towards finding something new?
Sitting in that in the phrase conceive it, believe it, achieve it. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
everyone wants to achieve it. Very few believe it, and even fewer conceive it.
yeah. In fact, we don't have to
Everyone-
bother conceiving it. We won't.
That's what I mean. Like it's a very few, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
wants it.
yeah.
Very
Well,
few, like even like so many want it, less people believe it, and even fewer, right, conceive it. There's a version in that that's all.
everyone wants the end result.
And in that, right, so we don't know how to believe, we don't know how to conceive.
Right, right. Yeah, we don't want to go
That's
through
why
those
we don't
steps
do-
in order to get it.
That's why we can't achieve.
Yeah.
There's the intangible, the conceiving, huh?
Yeah, yeah. If something is
Structure.
conceived correctly, then the choice to be made becomes really obvious. Not the action, but the choice.
I mean, in all reality, it's and we put so much focus on the choice there's so much focus on the action rather than the choice.
Right, right. And never look at what we're actually choosing. Because the action has become most important. I can't tell you the number of conversations I've had with people, even in the last week, that go like they'll come to me and they're overwhelmed and they go, well, like I got to do this in order for this to happen. I got to do this in order for this to happen. I got to do this in order for this to happen. And I just keep asking the question, who says? Who says that that's the way it is?
And it's like, why isn't it working out then? You already know what you think you need to do. Why are you asking me?
Right, right.
Like you're doing all that already, aren't you? And it's not working.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I suggested to her that she take her 4-year-old daughter and go in the backyard and play in the dirt for a bit. And ask her daughter some deep questions.
Listen.
And listen to the answers. Because more energy and more effort has not created the end result that we want. So let's stop and consider another way. And we find that clarity isn't all that difficult. We can slow down enough.
Did she do that? Or do you not know yet?
I don't know yet. One thing I've observed is that the people who I perceive have extreme power are kind of susceptible to overwhelm.
All right. Thank you.
I don't remember what I said. My mind went somewhere else.
Those with those that you perceive with the most power can be the most overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I'm coming to really sense the power of people, the power of individuals and all that. Yeah. And that has a lot to do with playing with energy like this every day. Fine-tuned sensitivity.
Yeah. That is the key of attention.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that too. It's that, yeah, my attention is very different animal than it was even a couple months ago. I kind of like paying attention. It fascinates my curiosity.
Well, that's attention requires curiosity. Not absolute, but there's always degrees. We always think that it's one way or the other, and we forget that it's everything in between as well. And degrees, everything happens in degrees.
Yeah. And while we're having these conversations, I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm going, how can we teach people this?
Is going in the back of my mind, like demonstrating that, right?
Yeah. Well, demonstrating is part of it.
Helping them see it, relating it to them in their lives, right?
Yeah.
People have to see it, hear it, be involved in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in all reality, we're working to conceive, believe, and achieve.
Yeah.
We have a conditioned program in how to run it that works out on a spectrum.
Yeah.
The measure to become a measure of that spectrum. Be satisfied with what we're achieving. Are we satisfied? We fulfill. Peace. Are we peace? Are we passionate? We in our purpose. And those are completely different than most of our past.
Yeah.
Most of our current identities.
Yeah. That sounds more accurate.
Of course, right?
Our current identities. Yeah.
We've been conditioned to respond a certain way in the world, and we continue to look for that.
Oh, here's something that just popped in. How about instead of going current reality, desired reality, we go with current identity, desired identity. Yeah, I got to kick that around for a bit.
Like anything, how it's structured, it can turn out or it can't, right? And it's, I think it's from a progressive, it can be better than how we view it. Now the trap is trapping ourselves in an identity.
Yeah.
And but it falls in line with be it to see it.
Yeah.
It fits with a conceive, believe, achieve model, you know.
Mhm.
So a structured will sustain. But again, it ties into then are we, you know, that it infers that we are that identity. We are
Yeah.
this identity, which is true. And if there's something true, then there's got to be something false about it. Which always comes back to the choice, like what we were speaking about earlier, right? The choice is the only thing that the choice is the condition that can drive the identity.
Is a driven identity true?
Is a driven identity true? That comes from the choice drives the identity. No, nothing. Space might be a better word. It's an identity that people want. Which is a choice, right? The identity is a choice.
To me, identity is more like a compilation of choices. So I choose to identify with or choose to identify as. And that gets folded into my identity.
Mm-hmm. It shapes it, yeah, shapes it.
So you choose to be a parent and you end up being in a role as a father or a mother.
Yeah, which is what I would hold as an identity. A role is an identity. I identify as a role.
Yep. But the role of parent is chosen, the role of father is not.
Yeah, and that's in that separation of it. Well,
And once a father, always a father. You can't take that away.
that's right. So then it's the same choice as being a parent then, right? For us dads to be a father.
Yeah, it just shows up differently.
Than parenting.
Well, it shows up as a father rather than a mother.
Under the umbrella of parenting.
Right, under the umbrella of parenting, yes.
That's so there's the commonness to it, and then there's the uniqueness of it.
Exactly. Well done, Jesse. Keep inspiring me today, man.
Well, good. Inspired someone, huh? Inspired each other, right? One way thing.
Of course. We always do. It's become a habit.
Mhm. Oh, good, man. Well, take that inspiration through your day. I know I will.
Always do.
All right, man.
Are you complete?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay, me too.
All right, Craig.
Thank you so
Till
much
next
for
time.
today, Jesse. It's been awesome.
Yeah, that's, thank you.
Okay, big love.
Big love.